Woods Farm here, just out at the tractor doing some more work on it today. Same problem. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with the ignition system. I've got no spark right now. I've already changed out the points, condenser, the cap, and rotor, and that seemed to make a difference. The first day it wasn't running. I changed those parts out, and boom, it started, no problem, and it ran all day on and off. I started it multiple times when I was bringing hay in, didn't have any issues. I let it sit here for a week, and boom, same thing, no start, no spark. It turns over. I can't, imagine it's a battery problem. I cleaned these terminals last time I worked on it, and they're kind of looking a little grimy. And I also think the belt on my alternator might be a tad loose, but there's enough juice in the battery to run the starter, so I don't understand why it's getting no spark. It has to be a short somewhere, something's not grounded right, I don't know. So I'm going to start tinkering with it again today, and hopefully I get somewhere with it, because I kind of need it. Going through the manuals, looking at the wiring diagrams and just different things. I've got two manuals. I've got this one here, which is kind of like the original owner's manual, and then I've got this shop manual. This one, strangely, this is the first time I noticed this, but it's saying that the gap for the points needs to be 20 thou, and in this manual I'm positive it says 14 thou, and that's what I've had them set at in the past. I mean, it's run fine with them set at 14 thou, so I don't know what's going on, if I should reset the gap, but we'll see. So with the key on, I've got power here at the solenoid. I have power at both sides of the coil. And I double checked, I have two different wiring diagrams, and they both say that the negative terminal goes down to the distributor. So I got power on both sides, and then down at the points, I've got power at that point on this edge of the points. So I don't know if that's right, but it's getting power all the way down in there. Okay, so I got the tractor running. I had to boost it, and I tinkered with it all morning, and basically I went over and over the ignition system again and again, and all I ended up doing was taking the new coil that I bought, taking that out, putting the old one back on, and it started to fire, like it was getting spark, but the battery was foobar. I had it on the charger for like 4 hours, and barely will crank. So I took the truck over, thought, what the heck, I'll just try boosting it, and it started. So I don't know what's going on, because the battery's reading 12 point something, 12.4, 12.5, like in that range. So I think the battery's good. So then I got thinking maybe the alternator is messed up. I tightened the belt, but it seems to be not charging as well as it should be. So that's what I'm getting on the multimeter. It's not like a constant 14 volts. It's kind of just bouncing around. So I don't know what's going on with that. I tightened the belt on the alternator, and it had no effect. Okay, here's the situation with the two coils. I don't know which one is worse, but the old coil, if I test the primary windings, I'm getting around 5 point something. And if I measure the high voltage part of the coil at 20,000 ohms, I get a reading of around 9.8. So I went online, and the specs are, I don't know, somebody said the specs were for the high voltage anywhere from 8,000 to 12,000. So I'm good there. And on the low voltage, it's only supposed to be around 1.4 to 1.8, so it's way high. It's almost double. And that's on the old coil, which runs the tractor. The tractor will run with this coil in. So then I'm going over to the new coil right here, and on the low voltage end of things, you get no reading. You get nothing. And when you come over to the higher end of things, it's like all over the place. 12, 11, 13. So a little high maybe. So I think this thing was faulty out of the box, but I don't know. Maybe they have different specs. To me, it seemed like the tractor would not run with this coil. And as soon as I switched back to the old coil, I had no problems. This thing is very hot in my hand. I had the tractor running for probably 20-30 minutes trying to charge up the battery. It's very warm. So I don't know if I should go back and return this and get a new coil. Any suggestions, ideas, let me know what you think. So I'm just double checking stuff, and you can see I got around 12.6. Yeah, 12.6 volts on the battery. So I think that's good. Should be right around there. So I don't think it's the battery that's the problem. Seems to want to start now. So I definitely got some gremlins. I feel like maybe this voltage regulator, or there's a problem with the alternator. I wonder if there's a short somewhere and there's a parasitic drain on the battery. That could also be a problem. Because basically I had problems with this tractor a few weeks ago. I worked on the distributor and redid the points, the condenser, cap and rotor, and I charged the battery, and it ran like a charm. And then the tractor sat for like a week and a half and went back to it, same problem. Now the battery initially didn't seem dead, but I turned it over a whole bunch and was cranking on it, and after about 5 minutes the battery is pooched. And then I went on this huge quest screwing around with the coil. I switched out the coil, and I was frigging around with the distributor and just troubleshooting, and had all kinds of problems with it. And really ultimately all I did is I swapped back the old coil, and I found that there was a screw missing in the distributor, and I know that was definitely a problem, so I readjusted the gap in the points, and and then I still couldn't get it running. It just would not, wasn't showing a spark, like there was no spark, but everything in here seemed to be hooked up right and working. So I don't know if it was just not getting enough juice out of the battery or what was going on, because then I came over, boosted it, and boom, it's running, and it seems to be working now. So, like I said, any ideas of what's going on with these coils? If you think maybe it's a problem with the voltage regulator or the alternator, or maybe my battery is just screwed, I don't know. That's the whole rundown of what's going on. So if anybody knows, has any idea, has any problems like this, let me know, because it'd be helpful. Anyways, thanks for watching.